Happy New Year, everyone! We're starting this year off with something new from Toolbox DIY. I'm pleased to announce that this is the first of 12 episodes on routine home maintenance. This is the Toolbox DIY Home Maintenance Guide. I know that sounds really boring, but bear with me for a moment. Routine maintenance is an important part of owning a home, condo, or townhome. Staying on top of maintenance can save you thousands of dollars a year. Also, routine maintenance can help keep you and your family safe. The best part is that you don't have to do all the maintenance yourself. It's entirely your choice. You can tackle it all, do some of it yourself, or hire it all out. It's just important that it gets done. As my good buddy Benny Franklin once said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Here's what you can expect from this series. There will be a new episode released every month on the Thursday preceding the first full weekend of the month. Condo and some townhome owners can skip the outside task and just focus on interior maintenance. I have a corresponding checklist that you can download at toolboxdiy.com/home-maintenance. The checklist may evolve over time, so keep an eye out for new tasks as the years progress. As always, with all my videos, feel free to ask questions in the comments, and please subscribe and click the bell so you can stay on top of the series as each month's episode gets released. Now, I try to spread out home maintenance tasks over the year so we aren't overloaded in any one weekend or month. You'll notice throughout this series that some tasks aren't really tied to a particular month. That is by design, just to smooth out the workload. Don't feel like you have to stick to the exact month on every task. The only exception to this is the winterization task we'll do in the fall and the de-winterization task that we'll do in the spring. This month we're going to start with the 5 tasks that I recommend that you perform every month. Most of these are safety related, but not all of them. The first task is to test our GFCI outlets. I'm sure most of you are familiar with these outlets. Sometimes they trip and we have to press the reset button. I'm not going to go into the technical details of how these work, just know that these have the ability to detect when electricity is flowing where it shouldn't be, like through the human body. That's why it's important that we ensure these outlets are always doing their job. I prefer to use an external tester rather than just a test button on the outlet. You can use a tester such as this one. You plug it in, it tells you if the outlet's wired correctly, which is good info the first time you test your outlets. Then you hit this button to test the GFCI function. If it trips, you're good. If it doesn't trip, the outlet or receptacle needs to be replaced. As an aside, I recommend spending a little more money on this version of the GFCI tester. It's a combination circuit finder and outlet tester. It's your choice, but if you think DIY is for you, this model will come in handy in the future when you need to do some electrical work that requires figuring out which fixtures or outlets are on what circuit. The second monthly task we perform is to test our smoke detectors and CO2 detectors. I think using the built-in test button is adequate here. It doesn't hurt to occasionally light a match and make sure the smoke is actually detected. If your smoke detectors are tied into your home security system, hold off on this one until I explain the next task. The third monthly task may not apply to everyone. If you have a home security system, we want to test that as well. Some of you may pay a monthly monitoring fee. Don't forget to call or go on your monitoring company's web portal to put your monitoring into test mode so you don't accidentally call the fire department or police. Each month I arm my system and I use a different window or door to intentionally trip the alarm. I also reset the alarm and test the distress code. This is a good time to remind members of your family about the distress code, how to operate the alarm system, and what your password is if the monitoring company calls you after the alarm goes off. After you run your tests, contact your monitoring company to ensure they receive the correct types of alarms. In some cases, they may even be able to confirm which sensors were tripped. With our safety tasks out of the way, we now move on to the fourth monthly task. That is replacing our HVAC filter if it is more than 3 months old or if we have reason to believe it should be changed. The general rule is to replace the filter after 3 months, but if you have pets or allergy issues, you may choose to replace it more frequently. We replace these not only so we have clean air, but we want air to freely flow through our filter so the air mover doesn't have to work so hard. The harder it works, the more energy it uses, and the more energy, the more money it costs. Our last monthly task is to check and replace any water filters. I find that my refrigerator water filter needs to be replaced almost monthly, so I check the flow rate, and if it's running slowly, I replace it. If you have a whole home water filtration system, you'll want to check that filter. If you have point of use filtered water, check those filters as well. And of course, check the fridge filter. On a related topic, if you have a water softener, you'll want to check your salt levels and top those off if needed. So those are the 5 tasks we're going to perform each month. I know it sounds like a lot, but after you do it a couple of times, it will take no time at all. I'm simply going to remind you about these 5 tasks each month. I won't cover them in detail since we'll have much more to cover. I have one more task that we'll perform in January. In fact, this is something we'll do every quarter, and that is pest control. I prefer to hire this out to a pest control company. I don't want to store and handle the chemicals. I find the cost to be relatively low, so it gets hired out. If you want to do this yourself, there are a number of DIY resources out there. I'll include links on the website that will help you if you choose this option. Okay everyone, that does it for our first episode in this series. If you have any questions, please put those in the comments and I'll get to them as soon as I can. I'll see you in about a month, and I hope to see you back here every month this year so we can make sure your home stays in tip-top shape. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris with Toolbox DIY.